Well, Anderson University is on a mission to become a leader in the field of national and cybersecurity education. The small Christian liberal arts university in Madison County is making it an academic priority under the leadership of President John Pistole. He's a former deputy director of the FBI, administrator of the United States Transportation Security Administration, the TSA. The Lilly Endowment has taken notice as well, recently awarding the university a $1 million grant to establish the new Center for Security Studies and Cyber Defense. And I'm pleased to be joined now by Anderson University President John Pistole, who has a lot more. And John, is always welcome to the program.
Gary, thanks so much for having me here. It's great to be here.
This is, to me, a fascinating story and has a number of legs to it, if you will. But first of all, I mentioned your former roles as deputy director at the FBI and head of TSA. When you arrived at Anderson, and you're an Anderson undergrad, when you arrived there, you implemented some cyber and national security curriculum, correct?
That's right. When I got there almost 5 years ago now, I looked at the curriculum with our great provost and the faculty and said, what are some of the areas that we can expand on or create new opportunities that would be distinctive, compelling, and relevant to today's students, the Gen Z students who are interested in things like cybersecurity, and it turns out national security also. So we now offer both of those majors.
Okay, Lilly Endowment, as I mentioned, coming in with a $1 million grant to help fund this new Center for Security Studies and Cyber Defense. Talk about what is involved here, because it includes cyber security engineering laboratory, an operations center, a lot of elements to it.
Yes, and first a shout out, obviously, to Lilly Endowment for their generosity and their investment in charting the future for Indiana colleges, universities. So we're very much appreciative of that grant to allow us to expand on our cybersecurity and national security efforts through this center. So the center basically will allow students to have not only the training and experience in terms of curriculum, but internships and cooperative relationships with companies that are looking for things such as basic security awareness, whether that's training and even perhaps to the point of doing a security assessment, a cybersecurity assessment for not-for-profits or for other companies and other entities at a reduced cost. So our students and our professors and staff will actually be doing those out of our operations center.
And this really puts Anderson University, I think, in some pretty unique company in terms of universities in the country, certainly independent universities, but that have this kind of asset.
Well, that's right, Gary. And we're the only independent school in the country, and one of really just a small handful that have not only cybersecurity, which more and more schools are offering as a four-year degree, and a number of entities offer certifications or things like that, but a four-year degree and a national security degree. So two separate degrees that somebody can come to Anderson University, and what we're hoping to do is create a pipeline of talent for the huge demand in national security and cybersecurity that we're seeing across not only the private sector, but of course in the government. And we've been very fortunate to have some terrific leaders, particularly former government folks that I was fortunate to work with, such as the former deputy director of the National Security Agency, NSA, and the head of the National Counterterrorism Center, and two former attorneys general, and people like that who have come in and met with our national security, cybersecurity students, and then met with people from the community that we invite in for a public forum. And so we've been very fortunate to have that type of investment, not only from Lilly Endowment for this new center, but from those who have been in, and some still in, positions of leadership in these areas.
Yeah, we saw some of the video. It looked like a high-level meeting in Washington, D.C., but it was at Anderson University, so very impressive.
Yeah.
Talk about, John, the potential to connect with efforts in the cybersecurity area here in Indiana, which are fairly substantial. Indiana really building on its reputation there. How does this new center fit in with that?
Well, that's what we're really hoping to expand on, Gary, because what we have are a number of, I'll say, transactional relationships to businesses in the cybersecurity world. And so, for example, on campus for the last several years, we've had actually internship co-op experiences with two companies in the computer science / cybersecurity world, and that has allowed our students who have been majoring in computer science and now perhaps getting into cybersecurity to not only have their college education, but they're working on campus and at a much higher rate than most college students are making during their college career. And so it's that practical experience that we're hoping to expand on, and whether that's through some of the folks in Department of Defense and some of the contractors that are involved in that business, the private contractors, or in the security firms, the cybersecurity firms, several of which are right here in Indianapolis. That's what we're hoping to expand on, and again, create that pipeline of talent that can be distinctive, compelling, and relevant.
Very interesting story at Anderson University, new Center for Security Studies and Cyber Defense. I know you want to get an executive director on board by the end of the year and really move things forward heading into next year. John Pistole,
yes,
the president at Anderson, thanks for joining us. We look forward to following this story because I think it's an important one, not only for the school, but for the state of Indiana, too. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Gary. Great to see you.